Alright, good evening, folks. Welcome back to Wilderness Wargaming. We're going to hit another episode of Inquisitor Martyr. I'm trying to push ahead through the quest line here and see where we're going with all this. I don't know quite where we were last time. Yeah, we took care of everything that was pertinent, and I think we're ready to go ahead and have our conversation with Captain Van Winter here.
We have a message for you, Inquisitor, and the coordinates of a world in the subsector.
I have received your request, Inquisitor. I would strongly recommend that you provide more details on the background of your inquiry next time. Still, I see no harm in disclosing the current whereabouts of Inquisitor Draken. Your fellow agent is currently doing the Emperor's work on a world consumed by the flames of the war against chaos. A whole planet cleansed with blood. They could surely use the help of other Inquisitors.
Okay, looks like we might have another side quest here. Alright, so I think the question is, we got a lot going on here. Drakari Menace, Week of the Horde, Purge, oh my goodness. The Martyr Chapter 4. Wow. Let's go ahead and do some Chaos Undivided. I do want to catch up on some of these side quests. We're staying with Extreme. We tried Impossible. It turned out to be kind of, well, not impossible, but very time consuming. So I'm going to stick with Extreme, which I think is sufficient for now. So it keeps it consistently 3 levels above where we are. Let's see what we got here. The Abandoned Force. So this is a level 40 mission. Cult called the Forsaken Sons. Using mutants as pawns. Okay. Let's see here.
This must be the lair of the cult.
Okay, we are on the... That's right, we switched to the Blessed Blade Rod. And the Flamer. Of course, the Flamer is my favorite weapon so far. Been really pleased with its effects. I'm going to keep right on using it. At first I was kind of more the Melt-A-Gun one. But the Flamer really is a very do-it-all weapon. Alright, what do we got? We're going to hit level 38 here pretty quick, I think. Got an eye implant. Oh, we got a sniper or something like that going on. Alright, got him. Let's get rid of these guys. Not proven to be too difficult so far. Side quests are actually not particularly interesting. And one thing where this game, despite its very large install size, it's 80 gigabytes, which seems like a lot for this game, given the ARPG nature of it. And the fact that it's a few years old seems a little high, but it is. Apparently, there's a lot more to it than I've ever realized. Every time I play it, I discover there's more under the hood than I thought. I think I've explained this once before, but if you haven't seen that, or if I didn't make it fully clear, part of the reason that I didn't play it a lot before was I got this game in 2018, right before I went to Kuwait, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a Warhammer game, and also I knew Fallout 76 was coming out, and I was all excited about that. And I'm going to play Warhammer and Fallout 76 in Kuwait. Well, Fallout 76, at least at launch, was very rough shape. So that kind of didn't happen. And this one, the problem that I had was that laptop had a really bad problem, and it got worse the longer I had it, with throttling. I had not actually intended to buy it. I was going to take a different one. I was going to take my previous one. I had an MSI that I really, really liked, but it started having problems charging up the battery, stuff like that. So I ended up getting the Asus that I had before, and that particular model just had real problems with throttle, and the frame rates just going up and down like wildly. Like you'd go from 60 frames per second down to like 9 or even 6, and then back up and back down. And then, no matter how many times I do drivers, anything like that, it never got any better. Well, I didn't want to buy it. Still didn't want to buy a new one, but then that one encountered some kind of problem with it. Just wouldn't boot up anymore. I'm still to this day not sure exactly what was wrong with it, but I had to get rid of it in order to finish up my grad school. I was still doing my degree, so that ended up becoming going the way of the dodo. And I got this one, and this particular game was one that really, let's get out of here, that really suffered from that graphics throttling. The graphics do not, just the way they seem to me, be very intense, but it really was punishing on that computer, and it works a lot better on this one. At any rate, yeah, that's what happened to it. Ooh, wow, that's a whole bunch of purples, and I wasn't paying attention because I was doing too much talking. But once I got into this one, I had this on my, hey, I need to go back and play Inquisitor Martyr, because I think that's pretty underappreciated. And so I did, and I decided to make this my big playthrough game, mainly because it's one that I don't think has gotten the attention it deserves other places. I haven't really seen too many other people doing playthroughs of it. In fact, I think I've seen maybe 2, and they didn't seem like they were particularly prominent either. So unlike with Darktide, where it had just come out and a lot of big names YouTubers are playing it, and same thing with Diablo 4, of course. This one I felt like I could do it without just being overshadowed by everyone else on the internet. So here it is. And the other thing that happened is the
proper litanies being enacted to commune with the machine spirit is merely statistical. Further investigation still recommended.
A cogitator here. This is a strange development. Stay alert, Tech Priest. I might need your help with the data recovery.
As you wish, Inquisitor.
Oh, we did hit level 38 in there. Anyhow, that's kind of the story. But also the other thing that really happened was, as I've expressed before, I started with the Assassin, and the Assassin seemed cool at the time, and turned out to be kind of frustrating to play. I feel like the Sister is just more my style, or is just maybe just fundamentally more powerful. But
I was too late. There are no survivors left. May the Emperor give me the strength to avenge them.
But I definitely enjoy the sister more. And then, of course, there's also just my general faction loyalty with the sisters. Really disappointed with the problems they're having right now. Auspex Tactics, who most of you probably have heard of, did a video on them unit tiers. And a lot of their, what were previously their good units are really just not cutting the mustard right now. I thought a lot of it was just the army rule. You have to lose models in order to make the remaining models and squads more effective. That's kind of fine with you're talking a regular Battle Sister squad, and it's okay on Dominions, but you have to get down below half strength to get the +1 to wound, which is really valuable. And by that time, you're cutting into your special weapons, and where by the time you get that low in models, you're just not rolling enough dice. So it's just not great. A lot of the things that made units more effective are just in the previous edition are just, oh, it's at the south there. I just now noticed. I thought that was the end of the road there to that south fork right there, but it is not. But at any rate, it doesn't work well. I don't think it works. I don't think that works well for any unit other than maybe it'd be good. It can be helpful to make the remnants of a unit more effective. But the other thing is, Sister's durability is so low that you still tend to just use the entire squad a lot. Maybe not as much with the 10-member squads. But anything that is smaller than that, like particularly Retributors, it's just too much. Like you're okay. You Retributors, you got to get below half strength. You have to lose 3 models. So if you lost 3 or 4 multi-melters or heavy bolters, or you've lost at least 2, plus the squad leader. The other thing is, like, a lot of squads are just really overpriced for what they're doing. For example, Dominions and
dozens must have been sacrificed in the slaughterhouse. Life in the Underhive can get worse, it seems.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Updating Construct Alpha. Embedded, Adeptus Mechanis, blah, 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 blah. Okay, further examination of the edifice brought none of the expected results we can determine by the electromagnetic and...
Augury units sense peculiar energy traces from a cortex circuit. Inquisitor, there is a dysfunctional initiate of the Adeptus Mechanicus among the bodies.
First the servo skills, now this. Tech Priest, I want a full analysis and report once I am back on the ship.
Okay, as the uninitiated colony is millions of standard years old, but we have been able to extract any samples from it. The liturgical procedures of molecular probing bear no results. The requisitional expedition Sigma 11 unit shares the strong belief that there is a machine spirit in subject Alpha 04554F, or at least a spark of the motive force. We tried several inductosomes, but if a machine spirit resides in the edifice, it remains dormant. Record damaged. Okay. So there's supposed to be more here. This obviously is the edifice here.
This data slate entry is decades old, and the monolith wasn't active back then. I'm sure the Tech Priest will be thrilled to see that it has become quite active since then.
Okay. That was interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. The big problem the sisters really have is that they have a lot of overpriced units, and they've also lost things that made them more effective. Like they don't have sacred rights anymore. Well, that was a big thing for Repentia. Either that +1 to advance charge, or maybe it was just +1 to charge. I forgot. Either way, it was +1 to charge, or you could get exploding sixes, which was probably even better. And you just don't have that. You have to attach characters, which isn't bad, but you're just not able to do it. They've lost a lot. First they lost the armor of contempt, which was really the thing that put them on the map. When we went to the last iteration of 9th edition, Arcs of Omen, that was kind of okay because you traded that away for more army flexibility, but really that was kind of necessary because sisters are restricted compared to, say, Space Marines in a lot of ways. They're 1 wound, they're toughness 3. They're not as good in melee combat unless they're a dedicated melee unit. But they have power armor. Well, that's just not the same thing. And they also have much more limited weapon selection. And they don't have the mobility of craft worlds, which are a most similar army in terms of their stat line. So now without the sacred rights, but then also, multi-meltas lost range, that be very vulnerable to Overwatch. Multi-meltas just don't have the punch that they used to be. Now, heavy bolters did get a bit of a glow up. And I think there's a lot to be said for heavy flamers maybe right now, of maybe just relying on large numbers of wound rolls rather than and automatic hits, but I don't know that you can fully make up with that. I think you either got to play like an armored cavalry list with castigators, exorcists, and rhinos and immolators, lots of vehicles, and relatively minimal infantry. Zephyrim, I think, are still probably good. Seraphims are probably... I don't know about Seraphims. They're a little hard to say, although they're clearly probably pretty good for objectives and secondaries. The basic Battle Sister Squad is okay, but staple units like Repentia, Dominions, and Retributors are overcosted. A Retributor squad or a Dominion squad costs 130 compared to a Space Marine Devastator squad costs 120. It's the same number of heavy weapons. The Space Marine squad has twice as many wounds as the Retributor squad, and the same number as the Dominion, and it has toughness 4. It's just not comparable. There's definitely a need for a points cut in at least those 3 units. Now, all of a sudden, Arcoflagellants are looking pretty good. I don't really want to spend the money to get them, especially with the army not being as good as it is, not being as good as it could be, and also because I don't really want to violate the Silver Chalice's lore by throwing them out there, and I'm not really playing tournaments, so I don't know too much about that, but I think there's going to need to be a points cut. I'm going to put all this in a more comprehensive video very soon on the sisters. And I also want to talk a little bit about some of the other armies that I have some experience with. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here and stop yakking. Well, that's a nice upgrade there. So we'll definitely change that out. Let's see. Flamer, what is this one? 114. That's a little more damage, but I think we'll stick with the orange one. Get anything else good? Mastercraft Greatsword. What's our damage on this thing? 131. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're not going anywhere near that. I didn't like the Power Maul when I messed with it. The Power Maul is kind of silly in this game. It's ridiculously oversized compared to the one like in Darktide, where it's really good. I like the Darktide one. Yeah, I don't think we got too many. What's this one? Purity Seal. 308. Yeah, this is not really an improvement. I don't think we got anything here too wonderful. No, just that little nice upgrade. We didn't get any purple signums, nothing like that. Okay, that's fine. We did, however, get another passive. Do we want to do more health? More heat? Do we want more crits? Crits with plus melee. Or do we want more heat? That's kind of cool. Damage bonus when your heat's higher. I think let's go with this. I like that one a lot, and I think this is going to be our next. We're going to try to max out on heat here. Okay. And let's talk to Captain Van Winter here. And we're going to ditch a lot of this this junk. Oh, wait. No, yeah, that's the one we looked at. Yeah. It's not, we're good. Yeah, let's get rid of this junk. Okay, picked up some credits there. That's good. We did spend a lot upgrading some weapons recently, so we're a little bit short on money. Okay. Oh, check these out. Oh, you can buy these with those little purple things, right? Okay, let's hold off. We're gonna wait till hold off until we can get an alpha pack and get some maybe good items out of there. Okay. Well, let's see what's going on here. Talk to Omicron Arc.
Tech Priest. I couldn't help but notice that the Tech Priest I found at the monolith was a member of a requisitional expedition, just like you. They conducted research here, and now the monolith is stirring. Makes me wonder why these expeditions are always connected to heretical activities. Care to explain?
As you request. Full disclosure is the most logical solution at this point. Everything else hinders efficiency. The Adeptus Mechanicus, much like the Inquisition, includes many factions. The requisitional expeditions served as a cover for the secret operations of our factions.
Elaborate, Tech Priest.
We are the Zenerite, specializing in research into archaeotech and Xenos relics in the Dark sector.
Are you confessing to Tech heresy?
Negative, Inquisitor. Several Forge worlds provide discreet support to us. 67.8% of the local Zenerites serve Inquisitors, mostly the ones you call radicals.
Should I find this reassuring? It doesn't mean it is not heresy, only that it could be widespread heresy.
Logical conclusion. Communion with the Cortex records revealed a hexamathic code with the coordinates of the Zenerite base under the Hive. Investigating the location could provide useful data.
Or meeting with some more wretched cultists.
Okay. I think that we're probably going to try to wrap up this Chaos Device, some of these side quests before going too much farther with the main quest. 200 enemies within 60 seconds, at least on your level. I don't know where I would do that at. What's that one? Elite? 10 elites. You're dying. Okay. When will this one reset? Oh, we'll get more fate and a loot box. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. Alright, we're going to see if we can't complete that in the next episode, which I will probably go ahead and play pretty quick. But it might be a few days before I get it out. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I am going to hit this evaluation where the sisters are coming up, because even if I'm not playing them as much at the moment, they're going to remain my focus faction for the channel. They're going to remain my top faction, my favorite, and that's not going to change. And I do want to kind of get in deep on where their problems are, because I think that they are revealing about some of the problems that 10th edition is starting to have with the faction starting to appear. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, and click the notifications bell for more great content for Wilderness Wargaming. And we will see you back here again very soon.